Well, greetings, friends. My name is Scott Postma. I'm the president of Kepler Education. I wanted to take a moment to create this video so that I can tell you about two very important and helpful resources that you may not be aware of. The first I'm going to talk about is the Consortium, which is a journal for classical Christian education. And the second is a dual enrollment program offering an AA for high school students and gap year students. So let me begin by talking about our consortium. It is a journal for classical Christian education, and currently we are in our fourth volume. We've just dropped issue 1 of the fourth volume, but I want to tell you a little bit about why this is an important resource or helpful resource for you. There's a lot of great books on classical Christian education that are out there, and I highly recommend many of them. What you have in the Consortium Journal are academic influencers, curriculum writers, teachers, educators who are on the ground involved in the classical Christian education movement, and they are writing quality academic work, but not for the academy. Oftentimes journals focus on jargon that is topic specific or subject discipline specific, and it's really written for more of an esoteric audience, those in the academy. What we wanted to produce is a high quality journal. It's not just populist writing, but it is academic in its quality. And so we created a committee reviewed, it's not a blind peer review to be fair and transparent, but it is a committee review journal of contributions and submissions made by classical Christian educators. And so in our first volume, we introduce what is classical Christian education. And so we have contributors that are writing on this topic, everything from a brief history of the SAT to reuniting the trivium and quadrivium. And we have contributors like Daniel Fukushon of Roman Roads Media, Dr. Louis Marcos of Houston Christian University, Dr. Christy Vaughn, Dr. Robert Woods, Timothy Knotts. So there's a whole smattering of contributors here that are, got their sleeves rolled up and they are on the ground doing some great work. So volume 1 talks about classical Christian education movement. What is it? Why is it important? And so there's a variety of offerings that kind of help you flesh out some of the nuances of it. The second volume is really important, especially in our day, and in particular when it was published, on identity and the classical Christian education movement. So there's a lot of conversation in education about identity politics and such. And so what does it mean to be classically educated, and who is it for? And so how do we think of ourselves in this movement? And so we have contributions that are written by educators doing work in Africa to educators doing work in China, and all classical Christian educators, and a whole smattering of others. In the second volume, this is the second year, but the first issue, we focus on beauty. What is beauty? Is it in the eye of the beholder? Is it objective? And so we have contributions here that focus on this topic of beauty, really quality, the beautiful art of brokenness by Sarah Abbott of the New England Consortium, Michael Young, Where's All the Beauty Gone? A professor, Dr. Junius Johnson, Greg Soderberg. So many people writing. Joshua Herring tackles the controversial question of nudity in art, in classical art, which often is a big question for parents, especially in an age that has pornographied just about everything. So how do we think about beauty in those terms? So these are important topics written by some high quality educators. The second issue of the second volume is going to be on truth. How do we think about truth? Where do we find truth? The third volume, the first issue, deals with, you guessed it, goodness. So we tackle these transcendentals, the beauty, good truth, and goodness. And then The last issue of the third volume deals with classical Christian education and the Inklings. As many of you are possibly aware or probably aware, the Inklings have really captured the imagination of many Christians. And I would argue perhaps that capturing of the imagination of this generation has really provoked part of the movement, or at least they've contributed to that. And so this one deals with writings about the Inklings. In our newest volume that just dropped this month, we're looking at classical Christian education and language and words. So the first issue, this one that just dropped, focuses on writing and classical education. Our December issue is going to focus on reading in classical Christian education. So I bring that to your attention because there are a lot of essays that will help you dig into the nuances. And so you'll find a smattering of issues within those topics that I think will be really helpful for any parent or educator looking to become more informed about classical Christian education. The second resource that I want to tell you about that you may be unaware of is that Kepler Education has partnered with Faulkner University and Colorado Christian University to offer dual enrollment. And this year, we are launching our AA program. It is a great books, liberal arts, classical Christian program. So if you are a junior in high school, a senior in high school, or in your gap year, you can take courses that are earning college credit, regionally accredited college credit, up to a full Associate of Arts degree that can transfer to any college that you choose to attend. It is a regionally accepted accreditation. And so this is a wonderful opportunity to save thousands of dollars, to take college courses that you're going to have to take in other universities. You can take them from home or wherever you're at in high school or in a gap year and transfer those credits if you're a college-bound student. So it's saving you time, it saves you money, and you're getting access to a quality liberal arts education rather than some of the things you may have to encounter in a secular or behemoth university that have a different perspective on the humanities and the liberal arts than a classical Christian institution. Well, I hope I've done some justice to letting you know about a couple of these resources. Please come by Kepler.education, check them out. You can also look at theclassicalconsortium.com, and you can learn more about the Consortium Journal, about our Consortium conferences this summer, and let us help you as you raise the next generation of students to have a classical Christian worldview. Thank you so much.